Hi, thank you for the super chat. Oh, look, 20 bucks. If we kiss, 20, oh, what do you say? 20 bucks? I think he'd be really into. You see, it's just not part of his culture is what it is, really. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve. Mark's around. Say hi, Mark.
Hey, everybody!
And this is Smokey Steve and Mark. Either welcome or welcome back, and happy Saturday. It is the weekend, so we know what that means. We're going with black coffee today. Cold, actually. Something good. Something good. So I hope everyone's well. I hope everyone's safe. Look after yourself. Look after the folks around you. You know, take it as a standing recommendation of mine. So we are going to discuss today our fair lady, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, the Daily Chantopolis, the Chantal Show, and of course, Foodie Beauty. So we continued this week on some things that we left off from last week. Let's see, last week we were talking about lying versus changing one's mind. I've been using that all week, and nobody will talk to me. The lip thing, which there's still ancient remains of on her face. The STD kind of fallout that came around with it between her and Natter, the gentleman friend. Which one gave gonorrhea to the other one? Did it happen via space aliens and abduction? Because everyone seems very confused as to how it could have happened. Like it was from wearing a wet bathing suit to bed. So, Pete's. I see you, Pete's. How are you doing, Pete's? Good luck on the new channel, Pete's. Hasn't really come out of his room too much, but he's got a new project going in there where he can socialize and stuff. So I think that's good for Pete's. She's of course sticking her nose in there because she can't help herself. But I digress. So at the moment, I wanted to break it up into a few things, mostly about the relationship, and Mark will be joining us to kind of sum up the more over the week points, basically calling out some things that seemed like mistruths, untruths. The current truth doesn't match the next 20 minutes truth. That happens several times. So Mark's going to hit the points going along with the videos over the week. I'm going to kind of bring it down to this relationship here, because some of this is getting a little, it's more than, it's always been cringy, okay? It's always been cringy, but it's a little more cringy for me than usual. When I see a man all but wipe his nose on a woman's dress, and she says she loves him, I could just, so, cringy. We'll talk about that for a second. The we're on again, off again with him is so, like, brutal. Brutal's the word, I think, on her. Because, I mean, obviously, you guys seen, he doesn't seem to really give a shit one way or the other about her. But she is so involved. And thinks it's so involved. And, I mean, really? She can't be making that much money if the best she can buy is Natter. I'm sorry. $12K a month, you'd think she could get a little better. But, that's whatever. She's depressed and hysterical. There's a video where she starts out the day depressed and winds up through the course of the video absolutely hysterical and then makes several changes of mind. So when you make plans with somebody and then cancel for a reason unrelated to what is actually going on. Like if you call your aunt and say, I was going to come over, but I changed my mind. I want to hang out with my boyfriend because I'm afraid he'll make chicken tenders for somebody else. That's one thing. You could call your aunt and say, you know, I don't feel like it. I'm not feeling well. Maybe you come over here. So, yeah, there's line. And then where do we go from here? Mark will have some gossip for us to catch us up on things like, does Chantal have Natter's account attached to hers on YouTube? Some other little fibs that she told as well. So, the cringe. Now, okay. He gets super chats and comments to kiss her, and he won't. Now, this is jumping ahead, but we're going to paint a picture of a very lonely, cringy woman here who thinks she's on top of everything and is actually underneath all of it with a broomstick. So they're in a live together this week. There was a lot of lives, and she deleted a lot of lives. But one of the lives they were sitting in, she's over at his place. Okay. And they're together talking, and he's making some kind of food, and I don't know. And she seems to be enjoying it, and I'm struck every time by how, I don't know how much of English he understands, but how much he can speak is under proficient, I would say. It's not like all the way there. But maybe he just pretends not to speak English so he doesn't have to talk to her much. I don't know. But at any rate, they're getting comments and super chats. The two of them aren't alive. Well, this is Chantal. She's about here, and he's about here. And the super chats start coming in. Kiss, kiss, kiss. And Chantal looks all excited like a little schoolgirl. Kiss my boyfriend on camera. And who could blame her? She thinks it's her boyfriend. So they're talking and chit-chatting, and then he's looking at her like, kiss who? You? And he like kind of fake kisses her a little bit on the back of the neck. And then kind of gets what he doesn't. He doesn't the whole time. The whole time he doesn't bother to kiss her. Well, if you're just friends, like you are every 3 hours, then maybe his current truth at the moment was that you weren't together, and he didn't want to kiss you. So maybe in that current moment, he felt like you were the one who gave him the social disease. And so that's why he was upset and wouldn't do it. There's a lot of reasons. It threw me back to BB. I miss BB now so much. BB, Thanksgiving 2 years ago, she had brought the camera with her to her parents' house. BB was in a relationship with her for 7 or 8 years. So I imagine to a degree, they were like family. They probably sympathized with his situation. And she brought a camera, was filming everything, looked very nice. Her family seems very cool. And she had the camera up here, BB, trying to get a shot of him like this, like kissing. And he was like, she's like, hi, BB, nervous smile, not sure what he's going to do. And he's looking at the camera like this. And then he leans back and gives her a little peck. So it was over at least then, if not earlier, for the two of them. He looked unhappy. I know. She always picks these men whose cultures don't allow for emotional connectivity. She said that about BB. She was too emotional for him. Yeah, she probably was. That's a fair statement. The things like, we're not affectionate on camera. Yeah, his culture, as I mentioned earlier, is why he's not affectionate on camera. There's video of her probably, doing things on camera that would be out there. Like the rumor of the alleged sex tape, which might involve a broom, and her, that he has, that she doesn't have a copy of, that he would probably be likened to, he's pretty freewheeling with what he puts on his own YouTube page. I don't think it would make it there. It would probably need to be like OnlyFans or something, but he has that going on. So he's very brazen and free with his sexuality, to the point of catching this social disease from one way or another. And so that part of his life, he's pretty okay, or at least he's okay with her putting out everywhere all of his, he didn't say how, no one said how he got it, but there's only a few ways to get it. And they all involve sex. So just, and then after that, it's like, the clap thing was weird, because it kind of had a spin on it when she would explain it like it was something we were doing together. It's not a hobby. It's not. It's not like, oh, when we're going to the pharmacy together, and then we're going to go home and put our ointments on. It's not a day trip. It's not. It's nothing good. And shame on either of you if you're sleeping with other people, or you're just going to pass it back and forth to each other like a volleyball. I don't know how that's going to happen either, because patience is not a virtue of either of these folks. Either of them. So, we'll see. Things he did that sucked. That mean that I don't think much of him as a person. And, which I never did, but now there's evidence. And then further, that I feel extremely sorry for her, not sorry for her. So in this live, where she thinks she's going to get kissed and nothing happens, he, in the live, is treating her, I think, very poorly. He wiped his glasses on her to get the smudges off. Now, I do it to myself. Now, any eye doctor will tell you, don't do it on your t-shirt. I guess not on a dress, because it's not good for the lenses. But be damned, he's very indiscriminate about where he puts his junk, so I don't think he's worried about where he puts his glasses. And then was patting her on the neck, and she has a bit of a bump, because fat only has so many places to go, and she's probably got a little on the back of her neck. You could see it. Mentions it being fatty, uses the word camel, having humps, And she's like, oh, we joke on each other all the time. I've never really heard him take a dig at him too much. You know, the only time she'll get a dig at him is if he pisses her off the wrong way, and then she drags his personal business from one end of the internet to the other. Not that I respect him at all, but if he were any other person, I'd kind of feel like, really? You do that to the people you date? You get mad at them and you show their business all over the place? Like, that's grown. That's grown. So, yeah, it's not a term of endearment to be a sucker, a loser, to be that needy. It shows a neediness in the face, the same neediness she had when BB was going to take a picture. I look over and she's like, we're gonna kiss now, we're gonna kiss now, and he's like, no. Very similar to Mark's face, actually. Not in real life. Usually he'll let me give him a kiss or something. So, I don't know. Explain to me how you're still in love with a person. He raged on you in front of the closest thing you had to friends. He totally, dipped on you. In front of the closest people you had to the people you trust and you like, the VIBs and the whatnot. And they may not like him and they may not like the two of you together, but they love you so much that they could walk out onto 6th Avenue and they wouldn't lose a single, she wouldn't lose a single vote. She will do anything for this guy. It's unfortunate. That's where the cringe for me kind of comes from. That he needs, obviously, money, which she'll pay. And that's between her and herself, why she wants to unload half her paycheck on some dude. I don't know. Maybe she can't afford a better gigolo. I don't know. But even Chantal, with all her quirks, I would think could probably find something a little better. Even if it is, not a straight relationship and it is financial in nature and whatever, could do a little better than this. This is not the marrying kind. We are not going to be hearing about him in a year or so. She's not going to bleed 8 years of a relationship out of this guy too. It's not going to happen. He's not going to stay around for it because the bigger, better deal is going to come along. Somebody literally bigger and better. Someone with more money, who's more promiscuous, who lives down the street, who has better access to substances that she likes, someone who will be more on demand, if you can imagine, to his needs, because he likes to be in man and in charge and this and that, and he's living off some woman's money. How domineering and masculine of him to be slave to a woman. Now, in Western culture, I don't give a crap about that because, Mark and I both work and we both make money, and whoever makes more has to pay for everything. It doesn't really work like that, but I don't know, to talk about how certain aspects of his culture cause and don't cause certain behaviors of his. We don't kiss on camera because we're very conservative, but we have no problem humiliating ourselves, taking money hand over fist from a woman who trashes us from one end of the internet to the other. That saves dignity. That says, I am in control. I am in control of the situation. Dirty ass clothes. Anyway, so next point, fighting back and forth between the two of them again. We're on, we're off, we're on, we're off. Now I'm skidding further. I'm changing my position a little bit. Because I do have Chantal in my head of this woman who's been, abused out of the relationship, with her words, or abusive in every single way. Okay. And is struggling to get out of that back and forth. It looks much different, though, now than it did before. Because at first it looked like poor delusional Chantal, so lonely she'll take any man even if he hits her. That was the original way I kind of looked at it. Now it's kind of like she's off the deep end. Off the deep end. She sees a relationship where there's none. Absolutely none. And people have said this all along, which I understand. But piecing all of it together, it really, the evidence was glaring this week. He didn't want to kiss her. He didn't want to be seen with her. And the day where she stayed home depressed, because she was depressed, which turned into manically making a bunch of other stuff and jumping around and doing this and that and calling him her boyfriend, which, when he found out on camera that she said boyfriend, she was like, what? I don't remember saying that. And the day before she had said, I wouldn't go see my boyfriend dressed like this, which maybe she would. But she tried to reiterate, oh, boyfriend. And the next day, I never called you my boyfriend. I don't know who said that. It's hard to work on gaslighting 2 channels worth of people and getting to corroborate lies with somebody else. You're spreading yourself too thin. Something's gonna give. something's gonna give. I think she thinks she's getting everything she wants from this relationship, but I mean, what she must want is very little, and she must be willing to trade very little from the person and be willing to give a whole lot to them. And I don't just mean financially. I mean, she'll drop what she's doing. She'll cancel plans with her family. Any base need she has, any base need that she has, she will just, I need attention. I'm going online. I'm hungry. I'm going to go here. I need to bees. I'm going to bees. And that doesn't stop her from working. You know, I don't know how I couldn't organize a video if I sat here really stoned or really drunk. I don't think I could do it. I think I'd quit doing it halfway through because it would seem like a chore. And I'd probably just go live instead because it's easier. Was she always this kind of a mess? Or did she set up the pins and Natter just kind of knocked him down? You know, was she always so delusionally insecure when she was in relationships that she believed more that was going on than there was? This back and forth, I love him, I don't love him, it's crazy, we have to work it out for ourselves. This use of we and love is very disturbing because I don't think it was reciprocal. I really don't. I don't believe he loves her. I don't even think he thinks of it as like something to do. I think he thought it was good on the front end because he was getting everything he wanted. Money, sex, someone to party with. And now, even the money is not making it worth it. So, I see a little change in direction here. But I don't know what she's going to need to see. He cheated. She already has an STD. And it's thousands that she's blown on this guy. For what? And they shouldn't even be sleeping together right now. Probably. You know, until the wounds heal. I think it's probably not a good idea. A cursory look of this woman's life would be that she's sad. Desperate woman. Trying to overcompensate. With money. Pretty much with money. Would she have just gone to a club as is, paid cover charge, and met a nice guy like Nader in the club? No. But for YouTube, this relationship could go on for a very long time. If nobody saw it, if all we had was back in the day with like phones and no one knew the truth of what was going on there except her and him, you know, you might accidentally invite your daughter's boyfriend over for Thanksgiving dinner. And he might offer to cook. I hope they wash their hands. So, 15 minutes in and it's a smoke break. So, did she go into this thing with Natter, a deeply insecure, selfish, self-centered woman who would be willing to put out money to buy love or attention? Or did going through this process with him of these little abuses that she writes off very conveniently, that no self-respecting person, don't put your hands on me, do not wipe an appliance of yours on me, we ain't like that. Now I would let Mark, but that's because Mark never would. The reason I'd let him do it is because he wouldn't even think to do that, you know. And if he did, I'd be like, well, do you need a Kleenex? You know, just to remind you that my clothes are not at your disposal to use as a sanitary wipe. So their back and forth thing is just still going to go on. It's going to continue to go on. It's been going on for months, and I don't think it'll stop. And after her very generous month of income last month coming in, the $12K, why would she stop? If it's her full-time job, why would she stop? You know, it seems like who is she hurting right now? Well, the reactor community gets a lot of fodder to use. She did this week go into another one of her rage delete streams where she was going to rip everybody a new asshole. She had shit to say about French Fry Girl. Yaba's name, I think, came up. Who else? There was a couple other names that came up as regulars. And she'll be at them. She doesn't strike that often. Every so often, she'll send a strike out to flex her fupa and show everybody that she's, you know, in charge. And outside of this little reaction community circle, like, having 85,000 subscribers is really, really, really not that much. But within the community in which we swim, you know, she's one of the bigger fish in this big tank. So her actions don't go unnoticed. And if you go to somewhere, I haven't been to Kiwi Farms yet, but Kiwi Farms apparently has, 5,000 pages on her? She's led a very full life for someone who doesn't do very much. You know, or at least in writing it looks like it. I don't know if she could write a book about her life that would be any longer than a pamphlet, but they have found thousands of things to write about with her. As to, here's another one to point to some of her mental illness issues. So we talked about her being desperate, needy, and lonely with buy me a kiss, and he won't even do that because we're just friends. And I told him, don't play into it, don't play into it. Whatever he doesn't play into or into, she lies and says he was in on or he wasn't. So she's home, depressed and hyper and whatever, and not going out, not seeing her aunt, not doing anything. And she finds that Natter is on stream at the moment, while she is too. And he is making chicken strips, chicken tenders, chicken fingers, what have you. That's like as regional as Sub, Hoagie, and Grinder, I think. Or maybe it's not. Maybe I just don't eat out enough. But he's making them, and she immediately thinks it's about her. That he's home, cooking, making this because she isn't there to eat it. Or that he's making it for some hoe. For somebody else. And he was doing it all to try to make Chantal jealous. Now, I could just as generically go to any channel where someone is cooking and think they're making it for me. Or they're making it for someone else to make me jealous. Like, he's not thinking about you at all while he's doing that. He doesn't have the energy. I'm sure he doesn't have the interest in playing reindeer games to make Chantal jealous. Nothing. All he would have to do is send you one vague text and you'd be over there in like half an hour. So he doesn't think that far ahead. He wasn't thinking that far ahead, but she got insecure in a heartbeat. What is he making those for without me there? Well, who is he making those for? Oh, it's probably some trash over there. Oh, it's probably some girl. One of the sluts online. Relax. People who are very comfortable in their relationships don't usually freak out at the slightest thing and draw a straight line from chicken fingers to affairs. Normally it doesn't usually go like that. But if you're wildly insecure, or if you've done as much yourself, you can see other people doing it. You know it's possible because you've done it. So, I don't know. People who cheat have often, like, cheaters cheating, like, you start to suspect the other person might be doing it because you know that you're the kind of person who does it and it's not out of the realm of possibility. I think he probably cheated on her. I don't think there was a hell of a long line ready to get to her. And I think the first guy that snapped at it, she went boom. And then she made her move. But I think he's going to have to be the one to back out of this. One of them's going to have to die before this relationship is over. Natural causes, I hope. But she'll drag this out to the end. And then if she gets a new guy and that breaks up, she'll call Natter in the future, and he'll be the go-to guy. Her, like, friends with benefits that she wanted. But she can't because she can't be friends because she can't separate sex from love, apparently. If she wants to have casual encounters with people, if you can't keep it casual, you can't do that. And I'm not saying everybody. I'm saying you, specifically Chantal. If you're going to catch feelings with everyone you sleep with, then you can't sleep with a lot of people. Casually, safely, publicly, whatever have you, And if you want someone to kiss you on camera, find somebody who it's part of their culture, I guess. I don't know. Is it not part of... Pete's kissed you on camera. I guess it's part of his, and you guys were broken up. But he'll do it for the money, too. Natter's a little different. She says that Natter doesn't understand mental illness. He's not from a whatever. We always say his culture, his gender. There's always some reason for another person in the Western world to not understand mental illness. Why? Because it's not very understood well in the Western world. She doesn't understand it at all. She says he doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. She diagnoses herself a lot with mental health issues. Even the therapist she had gone to, people were asking her a couple weeks ago, well, are you bipolar? Because you seem to have highs and lows. And she said she asked a therapist or a psychiatrist about it, and they had told her no. I think she would like to have a diagnosis of manic depression, bipolar disorder, because that would give her mania. She likes diagnoses that involve total absolution of responsibility for behavior, habitual lying. I'm an addict. Addicts lie. So that's a get out of truth free card. You can always back up onto that. Plus, when you piggyback that with, I just changed my mind, I'm never telling a single lie again. I'm just going to work off all that stuff. It's not a lie if you believe it. That's how you beat the poly there, Chantal. So she doesn't get it. She doesn't understand mental health. She doesn't understand mental illness, and she doesn't understand treatment. Don't call me after 2 visits to your shrink, and tell me you're doing so much better. Check with me after your 12th. And if you're still going and you're taking it seriously, you can see changes in people when their mental health changes. There's a crook of the smile. Their eyes are a little brighter. They're a little less shy. Or if they're more hyper in your face, they're maybe a little more calm. And that's not just pills that you throw at people to do that. I take plenty of pills. I have bipolar. But that's only a half of what you do. The other part of it is like healthy lifestyle. And I don't go to the gym every day, and I don't eat broccoli every day. But more than a little. You got to try a little. It's a lot of work on the front end to get well, and you get not a lot of results. But then as you go on, the results are big and good, and it takes less effort because you started those good habits earlier. She can't even get a plan from paper to action. She writes great plans, but she never follows through with any of them. And then acts like it's some strange set of circumstances that collide that always seem to stop her. It's the laziness that does it. Just lazy. I want to be healthy, but I just don't feel like it. That's a quote of hers. I mean, that's not something a hater pulled out of their ass. That's something she said. So, the chicken strips just set me off. I thought it was funny that she thought it was all about her. Because I've been that level of crazy. I know what that's like. You start seeing things, messages everywhere. That's delusional. When you start thinking you're getting messages all over the place from things that have really nothing to do with you. Granted, it's your not friend, not friend, whatever works this week. But something as inane as him making chicken fingers, and she thinks it's out to make her jealous. Okay. I don't know how much more I even have to say about this. I really, really don't. Like, where do we even go from here? It's... I don't know. Mark?
Yeah?
Could you come in here, please?
Thank you.
Come hither. Y'all know Mark.
Yes, hello.
So we were just going over some of the broader points this week, and essentially talking about her relationship with Natter, the off-again, on-again nature of it. Her being willing to put herself in embarrassing positions for him, freaking out over chicken fingers because she thought that they were meant to be a personal attack at her. Chicken fingers.
Yeah. Well, wasn't he making them for some other whore or something?
Oh, she was convinced. There was probably like a wagon train of whores outside as far as he was
spending
concerned.
her money on flying women.
Yeah, he's spending her money. Spending my money on her chicken fingers, the whore. So, at any rate, aside from all this, it was a normal quirky week with Chantal.
Yeah.
Laden with a web of deceit and lies.
Yeah.
So, Mark's gonna... You want to check in with some of the more delicious lies and things that went on this
lies,
week?
Because that seems to be the,
because they all happen so often it almost isn't worth mentioning, but some of the ones are so outrageous you can't help but mention.
You said it was just another normal week. Isn't that pathetic?
Well, the thing is, though, this should be outrageous.
I know.
And yet...
Exactly.
And yet it's not.
It's not. Well, I did jot some points down here so I wouldn't forget, and when I come on, I've always tried to be partial. I've always tried to take a step back and maybe approach it like I don't know much what's going on, maybe like as a professional or something like that. But it's we've been watching this for so long now that it's quite difficult to do, I have to tell you. But again, it was another week of the same old BS with her, and it has almost come to the point where it's boring and normal, and I just think that's just, and I don't know why anybody would want to portray themselves in that way so publicly in front of so many people. You know what I mean? Like, your character, for example, okay, so the behaviors we've seen, again, another week of these extreme ups and downs. I mean, hyper.
I'm hyper here, and you're gonna get it.
And then the next video, white stuff around her nose.
We're gonna Eurobees and shit.
Yes, like that. Exactly, like that, right? In the one video, what was it? The delusions and rage beasing, right?
The
which she had
one.
Taken down, yeah. Again, she's angry, full of rage, and she's going off on everybody and threatening everybody. I mean, she's gonna get Shannon's channel struck and taken down.
And French
Fry Girl and
YouTube Underground's
name
got
all
dragged
of them.
in.
Yes,
there was a lot.
all of them.
Yeah.
And then in the same one, then she defends Karate Joe by saying she feels so sorry for him, and there are so many worse people than him in this world.
I know, but Natter's taken. So, what are you gonna do?
Right.
There's so many.
Oh, I lost track. Oh my gosh. And then yet in another live stream and comments that she had done, she says she doesn't care. Again, now this is another behavior.
Yeah.
When you're when you're a person with a substance use disorder who's in active addiction, not caring goes right with it, okay, with those behaviors. She says that she doesn't care at all if no one supports her or likes her. She goes on to say that she does not need YouTube at all. What would she do if her channel was shut down tomorrow?
I have
That's
no
her source.
idea.
Whatever.
Work at Burger King,
And she'll just prostitute to make money. Now, again, your character, how you portray yourself. Why would you even say something like that? It's money. It's about drama. It's about, and it's also about a person who is unstable. Again, with the ups and downs and decision fatigue and making these really crazy accusations, statements, comments, decisions, all of it, right? And then about her own personal self-care. It's no secret that her personal hygiene is just out the window. I mean, you can just almost smell it from the camera. Do we have smell-o-vision yet?
We do not.
Okay, well, I guess that's the only way to prove it. But anyway, okay, so...
You know the kind of smell.
Yeah, we all do.
You've been to Walmart.
But anyway, okay, the blood draw thing, right? She had an appointment, she went there, and she left because there was a long line and she didn't want to wait in line. Furthermore, goes to schedule an in-house blood draw. She wants them to come to her to take blood because she doesn't want to wait in line. Then cancels that appointment and goes out to get food. I think it was eggplant or something. I don't know.
I think they wanted to come up and knock on the door. Chantal,
I know,
it's
right?
time to get up and get your blood work.
But my point is that a normal person would be taking care of these things, right? Yeah. And what about therapy? What's going on with therapy? Apparently, she went to one, perhaps, and then it was a video, and then it was a phone, and then who knows what happened? And she's supposedly going to start again soon. Whatever. Self-care is totally down the drain. Her self-image and how she portrays herself to other people.
Yeah.
Totally down the drain, okay? In one video, in one live stream, she literally gets up and goes and takes a dump. Very publicly.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't wash her hands. Comebacks. Picks her nose. Again, I don't think a normal person would do this so publicly in front of so many people.
Probably not.
I don't know. And again, we have to remember this is all what she's telling us. We have no idea what's true and what's not, okay?
Yeah.
We don't even know if this whole clap thing was true or not, right? Mm-hmm. I have some stuff written down that I did not want to forget about here, right? So in that live stream, I'm sorry, I don't remember I don't remember what the title of it was, but anyway, the people in the live stream, they were together, and the people in the live stream asked him, did you give her the clap? He didn't see it at first. They kept asking, right? And he found out about it and wanted to go back to read it, right? She wouldn't let him do that. Then she muted the live stream. And then when they came back, they had decided they're just not going to address any of that because they don't want to deal with drama at all. Come on. So now that casts doubt on whether or not that whole thing was even true or not. I mean, from the get-go, we were all thinking, is this true or not?
Yeah.
It's just more views, just more drama. I don't know. Okay. Oh, and then in Pete's, I wanted to mention poor Pete's. Oh. So Pete's has his own channel, and he was live, right? And he had to stop the live stream, end the live stream, because Chantal was having a mental breakdown.
Yes.
Someone's stealing her spotlight is what it is, right? She's so jealous and like that. It's quite...
she wants Pete's to do well, but not that well.
Not that well, right?
Have success,
then,
but not bigger than hers.
Literally goes live herself for, we'll call it a high live, because she was completely lit up.
Yeah.
It's just these behaviors and everything, the self-care, the behaviors, the lying, the manipulation, this whole drama of I'm in love with him, he's a great guy, and then very abusive in every way. Then when gave me the clap, takes my money, I pay for everything. I just don't get it.
She'll always go back to, well, he cooks for me. Get a private chef. It's cheaper than this boyfriend.
Than this, you know, and it probably won't give you the clap. But, you know, I just have to say, too.
Probably. Yeah.
She, again, it's disturbing to me when a person reaches this point where you can see just by looking in their eyes.
Yeah, there's nothing.
There's nothing there.
She may not have been.
I mean, this looks like a whore that has been washed and put away wet.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate, and it's harder and harder to, I'm not going to say defend her, but try to take an objective look at all of this. You know, this is all so public, and it should not be. And public, triggering, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting and unfortunate.
She says, it's my story, it's my business, but let's...
Sure, it's your business, but you choose to do this publicly. You choose to share this with everybody. Now, us as viewers, we definitely have the choice whether or not we watch it or not.
Yeah.
And it's no secret that the best way to show or not show support is to watch or not watch. So if all the reactors would just stop watching, if all of the people who watch her just stopped watching, perhaps then she would get the picture. I don't know. Her not caring about YouTube at all and doesn't need it or anything is a crock, because that is her job. It is her main source of income. She has said this time and time again. This is my job. Well, then, you know what? Dive into your job. Put a little time and effort into it. Make yourself look nice. Present yourself in a good eye. You know, think about your character and how you want people in this world to view you. Mm-hmm. I think you would have a better life. Her life right now is just so pathetic. She's so delusional, and that is where I feel sadness.
Yeah.
Is that someone living this type of life, you know, whether or not they realize it, she knows inside she's not happy at all, but and unfortunately moving forward, it's going to be more of the same thing until that big whopper happens, whatever that might be. The rock bottom, the whatever you want to call it,
whatever.
And I just hope she, well, one, obviously doesn't die, and I'm envisioning her watching this right now and laughing at that statement.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen time and time and time again. I have seen people die in the exact same position she's in.
Mm-hmm. I have to.
And it's not a joke.
I have to. People who didn't seem like...
I just went off. I'm sorry.
People who didn't seem like they were maybe that far gone.
Right, exactly, yeah.
We're much closer to the end.
You just join her right now, you'd say, okay, yeah, she's a mess, but she's not that far gone. No, she is.
No, she is.
She is. And she's in denial with everything in her life right now.
So it's not... there's only dark humor to be found at this point, I think, watching her channel. Nothing is authentically funny.
No.
So... Well, thank you, Mark.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for wrapping it all up for us.
Okay.
Well, next week we will hopefully be going into something a little more, if not positive, less harmful.
Crossed.
I don't mind at this point if she doesn't make videos, because she won't. Vlogtober? Ha! There will be no Vlogtober. There will be no Vlogmas either, I'm sure. But I don't really, I went from always being kind of more compassionate towards Chantal, because I felt like, God love her, she doesn't know her ass from her elbow. In this situation she's in with Natter, I feel like she thought at the beginning she was getting one over because she had the money and the say and pull all the strings, but now she looks more desperate and more lonely, and even with him. And it's this kind of charade of I have a boyfriend is starting to look more and more like she didn't have a boyfriend. She never had a boyfriend, but she likes the word boyfriend and wants one, so she'll take this and then call it a boyfriend, every time she feels like she wants to have one. And then when he doesn't like the word boyfriend, she has to go back on channel and take it back. We're just friends. We're just not labeling ourselves right now. Okay. So we'll see where that goes. I don't think he's going anywhere, at least in the next week, but we'll see. The big drop for her, the big bombshell that's going to, get her attention, won't happen soon. I don't think either. And we'll just go forward from there. See if she strikes a channel. I don't think she will. But she has in the past. And we'll see. We'll see. I hope you do well, Pete's. Chantal, get your shit together. Natter, go drop dead. So thank you all for watching. Please do subscribe, hit the notification bell, get the alerts when we have new videos, and also when we go live. You can follow us on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc, or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Our email address and contact information is listed all below as well. Thank you again, and we will catch up with y'all tomorrow. We are going live at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Pumpkin carving!
We're pumpkin carving tomorrow. Live. So get yourself a pumpkin or a watermelon or what have you. Somebody got a watermelon too to carve because that's fucking awesome. So thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night at 6. Bye. Say bye, Mark.
Bye.